Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the podcast Urbavirus. In the last episode, Junaid, Mathilde, and Paul showed us that Paris has been very affected by the coronavirus, and with the help of the collaborative map, we understood that people reorganized their movements in the city in an immediate proximity. Today, we will talk about the 15-minute city as a new approach. I have one of the students in urban studies with us.
Hello, and thanks for having me. For this episode, we interviewed people to see what is missing and what they don't like about their neighborhood. Here are some testimonies. For example, Clementine says, I don't like the traffic and the lack of green areas. Thomas says, the neighborhood lacks a real and big park or a green area, and I am not talking about the already existing small parks. And Manon says, I think the main obstacle to this is the time that we have after work, shopping, and transport.
Moreover, it seems that a lot of them think that this pandemic could be a factor to change our behavior and then change our habit in the city. Globally, we heard that people want a city with more soft mobility, more green spaces, rethink our way of consume with local products, more links and relationship between inhabitants. Those aspects of a new city bring us to a concept, the 15-minute city. Can you tell us about it?
In Paris, this concept has been reflected and worn by Carlos Moreno, a professor at Paris Sorbonne University and also advisor to the mayor of Paris. This concept means the creation or the development of neighborhoods where everything essential to residents' needs is accessible within 15 minutes. He calls it Ville du Quart d'heure, which means the 15-minute city. To improve the quality of life, you need to reduce the access radius for these functions. The epidemic is a first example of people whose movements in the city have been reduced to a smaller perimeter. So the 15-minute city sounds like a good approach for us. Also, some other concepts like that have been implemented in other cities in the world. This is the case in Melbourne and Barcelona. Now we'll listen to two inhabitants and they will explain the arrangements that have been made in order to live locally.
In my city, Melbourne, the municipality has decided to work on a project, the 20-minute city. Here the goal is to live locally, where we can have access to every essential service in a timely manner. In my neighbourhood, the soft mobility is really taken into consideration. For instance, the tram stop near where I live is way more accessible and visible now than what it used to be. The project also helps us to get a job in the local area, and every 20 minutes our neighbourhood is very well connected with a very good tram network.
I was born in Barcelona, and the city changed a lot since I was young. Today, the municipality is creating some blocks in order to reduce the use of cars in the city center. They can't access the center of the blocks anymore. It gives us some safe space to walk and gather. We call that super blocks or quadrats magics in Catalan. These allow us to densify the housing in order to make more space for green areas, for example, parks.
After listening to this, we wondered if people in Paris were in need of the same things and development. For that, we continued interviewing people.
After having lived this pandemic, I hope that the city will be greener with more park and grassy areas, will be slower with more bikes and walkers, will be more united with more meeting spaces for the population.
I think most of the activities will be outdoor. Personally, I'll try to commute less in public transport. I even think I'm gonna buy or rent a bike.
The city of the future is, for me, a city that is very green and where we can use a bicycle very easily. But most importantly, it is a city where you consume local food or at least food coming from your country.
I would like a city with more green areas, electric cars and hanging garden or rooftops.
To do as much local as possible, to have more diverse and varied small businesses for repairing objects or reusing.
These testimonies, among 10 others, have been selected because they were reflecting the thoughts of most of the people that we interviewed. Those quotes helped us build our own definition of the 15-minute city according to the needs of the inhabitants that we just heard. In our approach, the 15-minute city would be about multiplying green and fresh spots and or areas, even in different forms than the common ones, accessing the needs with a safe and a pleasant pathway, using soft mobility and making pedestrians the focus of the city, giving opportunity to stop by and meet outside, increasing the quality of existing public space while also increasing the quantity, and strengthening the idea of community and solidarity by favoring local businesses and networks of inhabitants as well as the diversity in socio-economic status and landscape.
With this definition, the three students went back to one of the two neighborhoods they studied with the map, and in the next episode they will deliver a proposal of development of this neighborhood. Thank you for listening and see you soon!